welcome to Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole and to Tutorial Tuesday. Today, I'm going to mention we are using the new Crochet Stitch Dictionary by Neil Brass and Evelyn Hetty Burkhart. And we are going to do what they call the cord look texture pattern. And this pattern calls for your chains, a single crochets, and then we are going to be doing a twisted slip stitch. So this takes just a little bit of time to do it because a slip stitch is a smaller stitch. And it's new. This is the first time I've done the twisted slip stitch. So let's get going and see how this goes. Okay, of course you're going to need your 100% cotton yarn, or at least I think it's like maybe 80-some%. I don't remember, but 100% cotton yarn is what I'm using. And then you'll need a needle for sewing in your ends, scissors to cut your yarn when you're done. You'll need a tape measure if you're wanting to measure a specific size washcloth, so you make sure that it's square or whatever you're wanting to accomplish. A crochet hook, and I'm using a 6mm crochet hook. Now with this cord look texture, you can use any stitch count to start with, plus a beginning chain. So let's get our yarn ready. And to start, we will do a slip stitch, leaving enough yarn to weave in your ends when you're done. So we'll do a slip stitch, and I am going to chain 30. So because it says any stitch count, so I'm going to chain 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So there's my chain of 30. Now I'll do one more chain for the beginning chain of the next row. So now into the second chain from your hook, you will do a single crochet. And now we are going to do a single crochet all the way across for this row. And so I will continue to do single crochets, and I will pause the video and meet you back near the end. Okay, we're coming up on the end. And again, I'm doing a single crochet in every chain across. Here's our last chain. So I'm going to do, oops. Single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. And there's what we've got so far. Now in row 2, which will be our repeat for the rest of our washcloth, we're going to be doing the twisted slip stitch. Now to do this twisted slip stitch, that's kind of a tongue twister, you take your hook, keep your working yarn behind the hook, so back here, and you take your hook, go from the back of your work to the front. Take your working yarn and pull it through everything. Now I'll do it again, and of course again, and you're going to have to kind of maybe pull it a little bit to look. This was a little bit difficult when I did the practice run on this. So you have to just keep your working yarn behind you, or behind the hook. You're going to take the hook behind your work. So here's your work. There's your stitches. So you take the working yarn, the hook, and go behind the stitch and to the front. Take your working yarn, pull it through the stitch. You kind of have to keep it a little bit tight. It wants to get loose on you. And then you'll pull it through that. So you pull it through all your loops, everything on your hook. So again, we're going to go behind the stitch and come in from the back. Sorry guys, didn't mean to bump that. Wrap our working yarn around our hook and pull it through the stitch and the loop that is on our hook. And that is a twisted slip stitch. And you're going to do that all the way to the end of the row. I'll do it a little bit longer with you. So you go in from the back, wrap your yarn, pull it through the stitch, pull it through the loop on your hook, and that's a twisted slip stitch. And see, it wants to kind of bunch up, so you've got to make sure you're not skipping any of your stitches. And I even found sometimes if I hook my hook on it, on the stitch, and kind of fold over and pull through, it helps me get it in there. And you pull through everything. So again, you're going to go through both, make sure you go through both loops of that stitch. From the back to the front with your hook. You go wrap your yarn and pull through the stitch and the loop on your hook. Let me see if I can get up here real close. I don't know if that's gonna. You go from behind, go under both loops of your stitch to the front with your hook, wrap your yarn, pull it through your stitch and the loop that's on your hook. Pull it through everything. Now continue to do that till you get to the end, and I'll meet you when I get close to the end, okay? Okay, I just wanted to point out, it tends to want to get loose on you, your loops that are on the hook, so you kind of have to keep that tension up there a little bit. And again, you'll need to pull your work out to make sure that you're getting into the next stitch and not missing one. But kind of keep that not too loose. I don't know. And pull through both or everything. See how it wants to bunch up. See, there's that one. I would have missed it if I hadn't have pulled at it a little bit. See, it bunches up a little bit. So if you tug just a little bit, make sure your working yarn stays behind. You'll see that's the loop you just went into. So now you're going into this stitch. And then I'll, tighten up my loop a little bit. There we go. Now I'll pause the video and meet you toward the end. Okay, I'm coming up close to the end. So I'm tightening that loop just a little bit. Try not to leave it too loose. Go in from the back of my stitch, in from the back to the front. Wrap your yarn and pull through everything that's on your hook. And you can do it every stitch across for round 2. Or row 2, whatever how you want to say that. Row, I guess. Okay. Now, right here we got to watch, because we've still got one stitch left, and you don't want to leave that out or your washcloth will be wonky. So, and like I said, if I take my hook and hook that stitch, both loops, and kind of roll my hook through, then that helps grab that stitch from behind. And you go through that very last stitch. Now we're at the end. We've finished the row, so we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And there's what we have so far. And you can see where my tension was a little bit loose right here. See, that loop's a little bit bigger. But I think it'll work itself out as we're going along. So now row 3 is the exact same thing in every row hereafter. You do a twisted slip stitch in every row, starting with it's like the second loop from your hook, or the first stitch, because there's your chain 1 space. And you go in from the back to the front and pull through everything. And always make sure you get that very last stitch on the end, and then you'll chain 1 and turn your work. And you keep working until you get the washcloth the width and length that you want it. Well, this would be the width, so the length that you would want it. And so I'm going to finish this, And I'll meet you back in a little bit and we'll see what our washcloth looks like, okay? Okay, guys, here's my finished washcloth. That is kind of a tight stitch. So, but I like the way it looks. I still got to weave in my ends. But that is the cord look texture. And that is using the twisted slip stitch. Now let me fold this up and put it up closer so you can see it. And I think it looks pretty much the same on both sides. Pretty close. So there is your texture. So that is the cord look texture using the twisted slip stitch. So guys, that's our washcloth for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if there's anything else that you would like me to do a tutorial on a certain stitch or anything like that, please leave a comment below, and I will, if I don't know how to do the stitch, I will figure it out and we will do a washcloth using the stitch, you know, just to give us, we're learning stitches. And I thought a washcloth is a short little project that we can do that doesn't take a lot of time, and you've learned a stitch and you've got a product. And I will be probably using all mine, putting them in little sets of 3 or 4 and using those as Christmas presents this year. So, but I'm enjoying our stitch series. I hope you guys are, and if there's anything again that you would like to see, then please let me know, okay? I love you and appreciate you, and we will talk to you later in Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole. Bye for now.